Today's craft class, we're going to be talking about look for less DIY craft projects using Dollar Tree supplies, getting that look for less, and having that high-end farmhouse quality look. All right, now let's get crafting. This inspiration I thought was so cute. I love the idea of using a little carton of eggs in my kitchen. I thought it would be really cute decor, or even throughout the whole year. There's so many different ways you can style this. So I am taking 3 canvases from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take off the canvas. I like to keep the biggest part because I use that for other DIYs, banners and things like that. And then I'm going to just strip everything down to the frame itself and stack up 3 with some hot glue. Then I'm going to take these larger tongue depressor sticks that you can get from Walmart, and I'm going to cut them down because this is going to go on the bottom of our little egg crate. And I'm just going to put down some hot glue, and this is going to hold it really well in place. You could add some wood glue, but I've found that the hot glue does really well because these are both really porous pieces, so the hot glue kind of seeps in between these wood cracks. Then I'm going to come back in with those same long tongue depressor sticks, and I'm going to just cut them down to size to create the lining for the eggs to be able to sit in each one. So I've got 2 long ones, and then I've got 3 shorter ones in between each row. I'm just simply measuring them, cutting them down to size, and I'm not going all the way down to the very bottom just because they're not long enough with the depth of how big it is. So I'm just cutting them down until they fit. Then I'm going to take some of these eggs from Easter. I'm going to put them on some shish kebab sticks, and I'm going to take them outside and spray paint them all an ivory white color. And my crate, I spray painted it a white color. Now I'm bringing in my stain that I like to make, which is the little bit of black, some brown, and some water. I mix it all together, and I'm going to use that to distress it to give it more of a natural look that it's been sitting around for a long time, getting old and weathered. And then I'm going to take some of this mossy grass that you can get from the Dollar Tree and stuff that into all of my crate little openings for those eggs. After that, I'm going to put in my eggs, and it looks so much like the inspiration. I was so excited how this turned out and thought of all the really cute ways that I can decorate with this throughout my home, and I saved a ton of money making this myself. My inspiration for this next look for less came from Antique Farmhouse. I loved these beautiful wall geometric art pieces, but I did not want to pay the price. So I found some of these mirrored frames at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to be actually only using 3 of them, but I'm showing that I was able to find 4. And you're going to go ahead and remove the packaging and then remove the screws from the back side. There are, I think, 8 screws on this, and I just used a little tiny eyeglass kit screw remover to be able to take all those screws out. Then I took it outside and I spray painted it white, and you can see that we're going to be using some of these jumbo tongue depressor sticks that I pick up from the Dollar Tree. I need 8 of them, as well as some shish kebab sticks. Now I'm going to be cutting them down to size because we want to make a little bit of a stronger base for our larger tongue depressor sticks to be able to bond to. So we're adding these shish kebab sticks in here to be able to really give a bigger base for our wood to go around it. You can see that I cut it down to size, and I'm gluing it to the part where the screws used to go into. Once those were all in place, I went ahead and cut off the rounded tips of the larger tongue depressor sticks, and now I'm just going to bring the corners together. I'm going to do 2 like that, and then I'm going to have 2 be a little bit longer because you want to be able to make sure that everything is nice and strong and secure, especially if you're going to be displaying it in your home. I really do try to find ways to make things look really high end without them looking like we made things from the Dollar Tree. Then you can see that I'm starting to put them on the corners, And with a lot of hot glue, I'm making sure that things are gluing really well. But before I glue this longer piece down where I hadn't cut down the sides, I wanted to make sure I got the sizing right. Now I'm going to add on all of the glue. I'm going to come into those corners and then onto those shish kebab sticks that we had earlier. And you can see here that it's really giving it a bigger surface to be able to bond to the frame. Then just make sure you push down really hard, wipe off any of that extra glue that might be pushing out from it. And then once it's all dry, you're going to flip it over. And then I'm using brown paint, a little bit of black paint, and some water to create a stain. And I'm just going to go along the edge. And you could technically use painter sticks that are longer so you don't have all these seams, but I promise you the finished look looks so farmhouse, so cute. It looks very rustic in my personal opinion. So I just went with these tongue depressor sticks because I knew I could get the look and look really beautiful at the same time. So I'm coming in with my faux stain and I'm just going to go over all of those sticks, making sure I'm not getting any on the white frame itself. And then I'm also going to do the back side just so when people turn it over, it looks finished on the back side. I always like to make sure both sides look good. And then once that was all dry, I came back in with some white paint and dry brushed on some white paint. And this is the part where I said it's going to look so farmhouse that you won't even notice those sticks, and we're saving tons of money doing it this way. And now I'm going to come in with some brown and I'm going to dry brush on the white spray paint. And can you believe it? Look at this savings. I ended up spending about $2 on each frame. I wouldn't even say that. I would say I probably spent about $1.25 on each frame. Our next DIY is going to be using this galvanized bucket and these florals that the Dollar Tree has out right now. So I thought they would be so cute paired up together. We're going to take off the handle from this bucket. Now beware, this handle can be a little bit of a beast because the wire is really, really strong. I like to hold on to those wires because I can use them for other projects. But I'm going to go ahead and remove it. You can decide to leave the handle on if you want to, but I personally wanted to remove it. So here I am. I'm going to take this brown paint and I am going to just simply tap it up all along the edge because we're going to give this bucket a really pretty rusted look. Once you've tapped around your brown paint in all the desired areas that you like, you're then going to take a piece of foam square from the Dollar Tree and you're just going to hot glue that down in there, and then you can add in your florals. Now I'm cutting them away from their stem, the original stem that they come on. I never like putting them in like that because they look so fake, but when you cut them away with some wire cutters and place them down in there individually as sprigs, it looks so much more realistic and it looks high-end doing it this way. So I'm going to just fill in as many as I would like, and then I'm going to take one of these little garden sticks. I pick up a whole bunch of these little signs during the springtime and I just hold on to them all throughout the year because I love how they look when you put them on buckets or signs or just things. It's a cute little finishing touch. For my next look for less inspiration, I'm going to be using this beautiful basket stand from Antique Farmhouse, and we're going to do it for a whole lot cheaper, about 10 bucks to be exact. I'm going to be using 4 of these baskets, gold baskets from the Dollar Tree, and then 4 of these mop poles, and then a whole bunch of zip ties. We use a lot of zip ties in this project. Now, one of my favorite things to get off these stickers really easy is just using this heat gun that I have. I'll link it down below if you're looking for a good heat gun. I love this one. I use it all the time. I'm going to heat up the sticker and then it peels off with no issues at all. Then I'm going to take 2 of those broom poles, or mop poles, and I'm going to zip tie them up at the top of the basket. Now you're going to want to zip tie them as tight as you can and push down those little nubs when you've gotten it nice and tight. I would recommend, you can see me cutting them here, but I would recommend, as I moved on with the project, I decided not to cut the ties off anymore so I could try to tighten things as I was getting things to the very end. So you can see here that moving forward, I'm not going to be cutting off those ends, just so I can keep adjusting them if I can find more ways to tighten it. Then I'm going to turn it around once I had it on both sides of that basket at the middle point of the basket, and then I'm going to do it the very next basket at the very bottom so I can create the framing. I measured out how high I wanted it to be up, and I marked so it was the perfect spot across the whole pole system, because you don't want to have one that's crooked or a little bit lower, because then your basket would be crooked. So now I'm going to take my drill. This part is so easy, I promise, friends. You can have someone help you if you don't feel comfortable with the drill, and you're simply going to drill in 4 holes going all the way through the pole on the top side and on the inside, so that you get all the way through so you can use your zip ties. And now what we're going to do is we are going to take our basket, and this part's a little wobbly because you still haven't tightened everything all the way, and as you add on more basket, it starts getting stronger and stronger. So you can see here that I'm adding on my poles. Now a trick I learned is make sure you're coming on the side of the basket, not the inside of the basket. You can see that originally I was putting it on the longer part, and I decided, oh no, I need to put it on the actual ends of the basket so that the poles stay consistent in size all throughout, so you can get more baskets on it. Then I went and drilled out more holes where I wanted my next baskets to be, and then I just kept zip tying on more baskets. Now at this point, it's becoming stronger, but it's still not as strong as it could be. So I decided to add on another zip tie at the bottom part of the basket, and I'm going to zoom in just a second so you can see. But right here you can see that I'm coming down a little bit lower on that same joint where we put the first zip tie to hold the basket to the pole. I'm putting one down a little bit lower. But then I realized that the zip tie kept wanting to slide up, so I decided to take my pliers, and you can see if you bend it the wrong way, it'll still slide right off. I took my pliers and I bent out that wire just a little bit to create a little catch grip for the zip tie to be able to hold on to the basket. And then at this point, these baskets are on here so sturdy, and it really strengthened this whole basket tower organizer. Then at that point, I cut off all of the zip ties, and I took it outside and gave it a nice coat of white spray paint. Then I brought it back inside and I patched all of the holes and then painted over it. And then at this point, you can distress your basket however you would like. I decided to go really light on my distressing just because I didn't think that it needed too much, just for the look I was going for with my house and kind of going off the inspiration. But you could paint these baskets whatever color you want. Could you just imagine what you can do? Now, at the very end, I decided not to put the sign up at the top because I'm going to be using this probably in my bathroom to organize a bunch of toiletries. But friends, can you even get over the savings? This cost me about $10 to $11 because of all the zip ties, but I saved so much money, and it looks identical to what the inspiration was. Now we're going to be taking some painter sticks, and we are going to move on to the next DIY. I'm using 3 packs of the smaller painter sticks that you can get from your home improvement store, and each one has 10 inside of it. We won't be needing all of them, but we're going to get close to using all of them. So first, what we're going to do is we are going to lay out our painter sticks the length of an actual painter stick, and you're going to want to make sure you have them all facing the same direction so that you can cover up those little handles where you can see them divoting in. We don't want that to be seen, because what we're doing right now is we're going to be creating almost, we're going to call it a barn door. That's what we're going to go with, a really cute barn door. And we're going to do 2 sides just like you saw me do there. And now we're going to glue them together in the middle. So we're going to take a lot of hot glue at this point, and we're going to just give a nice coating on it, and then we're going to take another painter stick and we're going to lay that right on it to make sure it has a nice support system in the middle so it doesn't have any problems. Once it's dry, you can go ahead and flip it over. You can see that I put a popsicle stick under, I said popsicle stick, painter stick. I use so many wood sticks here on my channel, sometimes I do that. But you can see that I put one underneath it to create a little support system underneath it so it could lay flat. And then on the front, like you saw there, I put two at an angle to create a Z zigzag look on it. And now I'm going to use my staple gun and I'm just going to staple on the back side anywhere where there's a connecting point, so that way it's really strong and sturdy. At this point, it should be all strong with the staples and the hot glue, and you can go ahead and add whatever color you want to it. You could do red, which could be really pretty, where it's got that pretty barn door look. I'm going to go with white because, well, I like white, and I think you all know that. So I'm going to add on a pretty coat of white paint, and I do go in a little bit later and distress it. I forgot to film that part, but basically paint it whatever color you want. Now at this point, I'm going to use this ribbon. I picked this really thick ribbon up after all of the Christmas sales were going on at the end of Christmas last year. I highly recommend when Christmas is done, go to your craft stores and buy this ribbon. You can get tons of it for so cheap. I think I ended up spending like $3 for this huge roll of this beautiful, beautiful burlappy type ribbon. And then I just took two really long strands of it, and I'm now going to take some eucalyptus. I also picked this up right now while they have all of their spring florals, just basically giving it away for free. I ended up buying this for, I think it was like $1.30 for this eucalyptus stem, and they were originally almost $13. I could not believe how cheap I was getting these. So right now is a good time to go and check out the florals. And then this really cute cotton stem actually came from the Dollar Tree. I love these things so much. I've picked up a whole bunch of them, so you'll be seeing them here a lot. Run to your stores, see if you can find them because they're so pretty and high quality. And then I simply am just taking the two ribbons that I put underneath it. I did a simple loop over. I didn't even knot it. I just looped it over and then brought them down and glued things in place. And now I'm just kind of playing with it, adding in a little bit more eucalyptus, maybe another cotton stem, maybe some of the little greenery that comes off of the eucalyptus, and just playing with it until I feel happy with the look. Then at the end, go ahead and trim the ribbon and display. Thank you all so much for visiting with me today. I hope that you enjoyed these projects. I always have so much fun teaching here in my craft space for all of you to get some inspiration and using these ideas however you might see fit in your own craft rooms. I'm going to recommend this video right here at the end. If you enjoyed these farmhouse projects, you might also enjoy this other video. And until the next episode, bye friends.